Okay.
How are you today?
Your classmates say hi.
Hi, Mommy.
All right. All right. So we are, of course, going to be continuing our Chapter 5 of Poetry Matters. So the first thing that I want to make sure that you do is take your list from yesterday of things that you wonder about, and you make sure that you get a picture taken of that so that you can put it in your notebook. Okay? Thumbs up. Watching you 8th graders, thumbs up. All right. So we have talked about 3 places that you can get inspiration for poetry. And one was concerns of the heart, what you see outside around you. What you wonder about was what we did yesterday. We talked about different things, ideas that just come to your mind and you can't figure out and you don't have an explanation for them anymore. You want an explanation for them. And today we're going to talk about the 4th and last place that Ralph Fletcher talks to us about it, and that is concerns about the world. I'm just going to move my picture a little bit here. All right.
Hollywood Fix. Fletcher the man.
All right. So concerns about the world. In one famous poem, Langston Hughes wondered about what happens to a dream deferred. And a dream deferred is a dream that you have, but you don't go after it. You stop going after it because you have reasons.
Hey. Did you like our video? Did you?
All right, so a dream deferred is a dream that you have, but something in your life might happen and it causes you to either change your dream and go after something else or do something else. So Langston Hughes wrote a poem about what happens to a dream deferred. So Ralph Fletcher is asking us to think about what we are outraged about. Are you outraged by the pollution of our rivers, the melting of the ice caps, the genocide of the Great Plains Indians? Write about that. A poem is a way for you to speak against the injustice of the world. When you write such a poem, you join thousands of writers from all around the world who have written poems to speak for the powerless, who have tried through poetry to make this world a better place. Okay, so today we're thinking about things that we think need to happen in order for the world to be a better place, or could happen to make the world a better place. The catalyst for this kind of poem can come from a newspaper article, a TV news show, or something you witness yourself. Patricia Clark, a poet and teacher, once visited a museum where she saw the bill of sale for a slave girl. She was appalled by this piece of paper, which detailed how a human being could be bought and sold like a horse, a bushel of wheat, or a piece of furniture. It sparked her to write a poem. Political or activist poems are important. But when I write this kind of poem, I try to keep in mind some words of caution the writer Richard Price gave me when I studied writing with him. If you want to send a message, go to Western Union. In other words, it's okay to be passionate about what you believe in, but beware of lecturing at your audience. That sort of preachy writing will turn readers off in a heartbeat. The best poems don't tell us what to think, they show us, and they let us feel it too. So what is he saying by it's okay to be passionate about what you believe in, but beware of lecturing your audience? What happens when we are too lectury in what we're saying? People get bored. They get turned off very easily.
Also, if you're very lectury, you're just kind of straight to the point. You don't like make it fun. You don't make it interesting. Like you're just gonna get right to the point and it's boring.
Yeah. So we want to be passionate, but not Be passionate, but not preachy. So we don't want to be
That's what I thought too.
preachy. Okay, preachy has a very negative connotation to it, as well as lectury has a very negative connotation to it. Basically, what it is telling, basically, you don't want to tell somebody that they're stupid if they don't agree with you, because that's not going to make anybody agree with you. No one has ever changed somebody's mind by telling them they're stupid, ever. Right?
Yeah.
All right. So the following poem was written by my brother, Tom Fletcher. So we're going to talk about what he means by this poem in just a second. I admire the precise imagery that captures a moment in time. It seems to me that the final 4 lines, Tom describes the job of the poet. So this is The Wild Flight by Tom Fletcher. The moon's lean crescent vaguely illuminated an open field and black forest outline behind. Neck tucked, an eerie shriek, a tall buck hiding in the stealthy weeds, exploded from its knees out and upward in one great scissoring spasm, pounding field under itself in furious silence. A streak of wild earth, the weight of a large man, its coat of arms tan with white lines, glowed in the moonlight, surreal and magnificent. I spend days gathering images, the night in reconstruction, sewing dreams like patches along the seams of a diminished world. So what is he describing in this poem?
Scenery?
What kind of animal is he describing? What's a buck? A deer. A deer. So he's in the field. He's in an open field. And as he's in the field, he sees a buck jump out of the weeds, out of the grass. And he watches it run away. Okay. And what does he think about the deer? Does he think it looks beautiful and magnificent, or does he think it looks like it shouldn't be there? Okay, does it belong in the woods, or as something beautiful that adds to the woods, or is it something that shouldn't be in the woods?
It's something that shouldn't be.
If we call it magnificent, what does he think? He thinks it belongs there, right? Yeah. Okay, so what would be a diminishing world? What would need to happen in order for it to be a diminishing world?
Down.
Thinking about this scenario of a deer jumping through a field. I'm shaking. Thinking of the deer jumping in the field. Okay. And he wants that to be there. If it's not there, he feels like the world is diminishing. So he feels like getting rid of all the deer would be something that would make the world a terrible place. So that's his concern. His concern is we can't get rid of all the deer. Is he saying that deer should not be hunted at all? No, that's not what he's saying. What he's saying is that we need to make sure that the magnificence of deer is preserved enough that it's around, right? Okay, so that's his concern. That's his concern with the world. So what you're going to do is you are going to say what things you are concerned about. What do you think needs to stay around in order for the world to be a better place, to be a good place? What do you think needs to disappear in order for the world to be a better place, to be a good place? Okay. So you can write this and take a picture of it, or you may do 10/9/2020. This is not a poem. This is ideas again. So we're writing things that could be ideas for poems. So the past 4 times we've written, we have not been writing poems. We've been writing ideas that we could take out. Either or. So if something like hunting is something that concerns you, if something like violence in schools concerns you, bullying, things like that, those are the kinds of things that you would write down.
How do you know which one?
It doesn't matter. It's just whatever it is that you want.
Do we make it list-wise or do we make it like poem?
Just a list. Just a list. It's not a poem, it's just a list. Okay? So my passions, my concerns.
So we have to do both.
Both. I mean, both or one. I mean, they're really the same thing. What concerns you is what you're passionate about. What you're passionate about is what concerns you. So they're really the same thing. Okay? So you're just making a list. It's not a poem. You're just making a list. Okay?
No. I spelled concerns on paper.
You can absolutely just bullet point it. You're not writing full sentences. You're just making a list of things that you might care about. Okay? So I am going to stop sharing and I'm going to say good luck. We missed you today and